Hi guys. So today I thought I would talk to you about atheism. In future I'm going to talk about all different religions, good, bad, not trying to convert you to anything. I just thought, just a bit of information and yeah, so let's get started. So atheism, so basically atheists don't use God to explain the existence of the universe. Atheists say that human beings can devise suitable moral codes to live by without the aid of God's scriptures. So that could be because of laws in their country, the way they were brought up. I don't believe people are inherently good or bad. I think you're sort of a mixture of both, and then your upbringing or what you sort of, you may do some reading when you're older and take your morals from that. So some of the reasons for non-belief are that the most common is atheists feel there's not sufficient evidence to support any religion. And they go by science and they think that religion is nonsensical. I don't think that you have to do everything that makes sense. So I believe with a lot of what atheists believe. I don't believe that should be a reason to be an atheist. I believe that, people do nonsensical things all the time for fun, or it makes them happy. And if going to church makes you happy, then go to church. Who am I to stop you? They once had a religion and have lost faith in it for whatever reason. That's basically me. They live in a non-religious culture because, there are cultures that are non-religious. Religion just doesn't interest them, and that's okay. It would be a pretty boring world if everyone followed the same religion, had the same interests, Religion doesn't seem relevant to their lives. Got no problem with that. Religion seems to done a lot of harm in the world, and this one I sort of agree with, sort of don't. I do believe that some religious people have done harm. They've hurt people of the LGBTQIA community, and I don't think that's necessary. You've got the extremists like the Westboro Baptist Church and the Australian Christian Lobby, and they do a lot of harm. And I don't think that's okay, but I also don't think all Christians and all churches are like that. I've got a Uniting Church near me that actually has a sign out the front saying, "We welcome everyone with the rainbow," and they include LGBTQI people and are quite welcoming as far as I've heard. I've never been to that church, but that's what I've heard. And the world is such a bad place that there can't be a God. And I don't have the education to comment on this. That is people's opinions, and people are entitled to their opinion. My opinion is, as long as you're not doing harm to anyone else, then have your opinion. So atheists are as moral or immoral as religious people. So, in practical terms, atheists often follow the same moral codes as religious people, but they arrive at the decision of what is good or bad without any help from the idea of God. So they may not look at the Bible, they may look at, the laws, think for themselves about what's right or wrong. Not saying that Christians don't do that, but so atheists find their own answers to the questions of what it means to be human. So that's sort of like a little overview. And so atheists' criticisms of religion, so the bad. Not all atheists are hostile to religion, but many do think that religion is bad. Some of the reasons include religion gets people to believe something untrue. That is entirely someone's opinion. Religion makes people base the way they run their lives on a falsehood. So I think that's sort of talking about the Bible, and I have read the Bible. I don't agree with everything in the Bible, so I can sort of understand this point of view. But I also think that I know Christians who, I think they're called revolutionary Christians, who have sort of progressed with the time, and religion stops people thinking in a rational and objective way, and I believe these are like the extremists. I believe the extremists of religions, all religions are like this. I don't like extremists of any religion. Religion forces people to rely on an outside authority rather than becoming self-reliant. So I do believe that you need to be self-reliant. I do believe that you shouldn't sort of rely on everything to do with your life from one book. I believe that you should be free to make your own decisions, and religion imposes irrational rules of good and bad behaviour. In some cases in the Bible, I agree with this. I don't agree with that with things like murder and stealing and cheating on your partner, things like that. I don't agree with that, but I do think it's some of the rules of good and bad behaviour are irrational in the Bible. That's just my opinion. You're free to have another opinion. Religion divides people and is a cause of conflict and war. I'm not going to deny this. I've read a little bit on war. I'm no expert, but my understanding is some rules, look at ISIS, for example. I know they're an extremist group, and it is normally the extremists, but the structure of most religions is anti-democratic and thus offends basic human rights. That's really open to interpretation, I think, and I think there is some truth to it, but I also think it depends how each individual Christian acts. Religion doesn't give equal treatment to women and gay people and thus offends basic human rights. I do agree with this, but yet again, it depends on the Christian, I suppose. Religion obstructs scientific research. I don't know about this. I don't know enough about this specific point to really have an opinion. I'd have to research it more. And religion wastes time and money, but I don't really agree with that because, people go out to bars and get drunk, and some people might have the opinion that that's wasting time and money. I don't necessarily think just because something's not productive or doesn't, you're not making good use of your time, you can't have fun. And some people think, oh, you're having fun, it's wasting time and money. I don't believe in any of that. So good, we'll go to most atheists willingly concede there are some good things about religion, such as religious art and music. I agree with that. I would absolutely love to go see the Sistine Chapel, for instance. I'd love to see them paintings, and I've seen it on YouTube and TV and I've seen photos of it and it looks absolutely beautiful and I would love to actually see it in person. Another point is religious charities and good works, which I agree with. Like, I agree if a religion is willing to help people less fortunate, I think that's a good thing. I think that's something everyone, whether you're religious or not, should do and should strive to do if you have the money, obviously, and the means to do that. But I don't think that that's solely a religious thing either. Much religious wisdom and scripture. I agree with some of the lessons in the Bible. I agree with the morals behind some of the stories in the Bible. Not all of them, but some of them. And human fellowship and togetherness. So, it's like I would go to a book club over a church. I love books. I love reading. That's being social, which is, humans need that socialness. And so I think religion is good that you can get together with like-minded people, make friends, talk about ideas, etc. So, yeah, the first atheist writers, so there was, sorry if I pronounced these names wrong, Epicurus. Epicurus put forward the theory of materialism. The only thing that exists are bodies and the space between them. Epicurus taught that the soul is also made of material objects, and so when the body dies, the soul dies with it. There is no afterlife. Epicurus thought that gods might exist, but if they did not have anything to do with human beings. Religion was the human activity of trying to live the way such noble but unknowable gods might live. So yeah, there's that. So then there's morality and secularism. Okay. So some atheists believe that Christianity is pronounced immoral. A powerful but rather unexpected attack on Christianity came from a group of people, including the writer George Eliot, who thought that Christianity was immoral. They said there was something totally unethical in the behaviour of a God who behaved like a revengeful tyrant. According to the doctrine of original sin, God was prepared to punish people for a wrong that was not their fault just because they were human beings. What sort of God was it? They wondered, who then decided to let us off this unfair punishment because he had punished his son instead of us. So it goes on a bit more. I'll put the links in the description of all this if you want to do further reading. Secularism. The 19th century saw a serious campaign against the churches by the secularist movement. Their particular target was the state church, the Church of England, which was highly privileged. So until 1828, no one could hold a public office without signing up to the beliefs of the church. Until 1836, only Church of England ministers could conduct marriages, and until 1871, only members of the Church of England could teach at the universities of Oxford and Cambridge. And then we come to blasphemy. The law against blasphemy was strict in Victorian Britain. George Holyoake was the last person in England to be imprisoned in 1842 for being an atheist. He was jailed for 6 months for a speech which included the line, "For myself, I flee the Bible as a viper and revolt at the touch of a Christian." And then Charles Bradlaugh was one of the most prominent of the Victorian atheists. He edited The National Reformer, which itself was prosecuted for blasphemy, and in 1866 was one of the founders of the National Secular Society. Bradlaugh was elected into Parliament in 1880, but was not allowed to take his seat because he would not swear on a religious oath, but wanted to affirm. He was re-elected several times over 5 years, but did not take his seat until 1886. When he eventually took his seat, he became Britain's first openly atheist member of Parliament. And then the discovery of evolution. So, in the second half of the 19th century, the theory of evolution put forward by Charles Darwin and other specific discoveries undermined the value of religion as a way of explaining the nature and existence of the world. During the 18th and 19th century, academic research began to undermine the literal truths of religion and throw doubt into the existence of God as a separate and supernatural being. And then it goes a bit on. And then it goes in 1841, Ludwig Feuerbach, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, argued that God was a human invention, a spiritual device to help us deal with our fears and aspirations. This was bad news because human beings projected all their good qualities onto God and saw him as a compassionate, wise, loving, and so on, while they saw themselves as greatly inferior. Thus, humanity alienated itself from its true self. So yeah, there's more. I'll put the links in the description below. So yeah, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.